Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today I'm going to share with you guys my final Game Week 21 wildcard draft. It is a draft that I would go with if I was wildcarding in Game Week 21. Personally, I'm not, but I understand that there are a lot of flags and injuries right now, coupled with the players going to the respective tournaments, whether it's the AFCON or the Asian Cup. A lot of players are flagged right now. Some of our teams are in trouble, and we may need the wildcard. So I don't mind if people are activating their wildcard, and I'll share with you guys my latest draft. But I do also want to share with you guys the opportunity cost to kind of help you guys decide whether now is the best time to use it or not. And that will be explained in this graphic here as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. I will be giving away a free Fantasy Football Hub membership to one lucky subscriber on the Game Week 22 deadline stream to show you guys a token of appreciation for all the support you've shown the channel the last year. So all you have to do is be subscribed and you will be entered into the draw. So let's focus on this graphic here before we jump into the Game Week 2021 wildcard. And I wanted to show this graphic to you again. I did show it already in the predicted blanks and doubles video, but I just wanted to share with you guys again what the landscape is going to look like for those of you who are wildcarding in Game Week 21 and the potential difficulty in navigating the future game weeks if you use your wildcard this early now in Game Week 21. So moving forward, I'm recording this after the Chelsea versus Middlesbrough EFL Cup game. There's still the Liverpool-Fulham one to go. We would expect Liverpool to win that one, but as always, anything can happen, and we did see that Chelsea just lost to Middlesbrough 1-0. So, of course, there is still the second leg, and they are still the favourites to win that one at Stamford Bridge. So, if that does happen, it will be as we predicted, where Liverpool and Chelsea play in the EFL Cup final. So, that definitely is still a possibility, and of course, it has trickle-down effects on the blanks and doubles moving forward. So, let's go one by one. In Game Week 25, there will potentially be a double, and the teams that could double there are Man City, Brentford, Liverpool, and Luton. Now, of course, these are dependent on a couple of things. For Man City and Brentford, it could go into 25, it could go into 28. For Liverpool and Luton, it depends on Liverpool getting to the EFL Cup final and also the FA Cup 5th round. So if that does happen, then it is pretty much very likely that we will see Liverpool and Luton being moved to double Game Week 25. So double Game Week 25 is a possibility, but you see, as soon as we reach Game Week 26, the game week right after that is going to be a blank, and if Liverpool and Chelsea are the teams playing in the EFL Cup final, they would blank as well. So you could see some difficulty there shifting from a Game Week 25 team to a Game Week 26 team, because Liverpool double and then they blank. So if Liverpool and Chelsea are in the EFL Cup final, the teams that blank along with them would be Tottenham and Luton. Fulham and Manchester United are only there because Fulham are still in the EFL Cup semi-final. And in the unlikely event that they win Liverpool and get to the final, then instead of Liverpool and Luton being postponed, it will be Fulham and Manchester United that will be postponed. So do bear that one in mind for Game Week 26. So already some difficulties will be presented there when you're shifting from 25 to 26. And then, of course, in Game Week 28 is the other possibility for a double for Man City and Brentford, where either that fixture moves to 25 or 28. So come to Game Week 29 onwards, I think that's where, without your wild card, you would also feel quite some difficulty. So blank Game Week 29 is likely to be the biggest blank game week due to the FA Cup quarterfinals. Based off of the current latest draw after the third round, it is likely that we would still see about anywhere between 4 to 7 fixtures not happening and basically being postponed. So blank Game Week 29 would already be a difficult game week to navigate. Of course, you could choose to free hit in that week. So there are other strategies you could use. The wild card, if you don't have it moving forward, if you use it now in Game Week 21, of course, you can deploy different strategies moving forward to deal with those game weeks, namely free hitting in Game Week 29 to deal with that big blank. Right, so Game Week 34 and Game Week 37 are definitely going to be double game weeks. Those are where the remaining fixtures are going to slot in. But also do bear in mind that Game Week 34 would likely be a double and a blank at the same time, because that is when the FA Cup semi-finals is going to happen. So the teams that are in the FA Cup semi-finals will blank, but it's also possible that even though they're in the FA Cup semi-final that they don't blank, because if they have a free midweek after those games could slot there. So it really depends on the games moving forward and how tight the schedule is as well, and where the fixtures slot in. But double game week 34 and double game week 37 are pretty much a certainty. So I guess the pro of having your wild card then is to deal with the fixtures. You would know by then, right, how they're looking, how big the doubles are, and how your team needs to look like for game week 34 and 37. Just a note on that as well is that it's likely that the teams that double in game week 34 would likely not be the teams doubling in 37, or at least there won't be as many overlaps based off of the latest predictions. It could be quite tricky, but then again, using a wild card now in game week 21 may not be a choice, because some teams, I do understand, have loads of flags. If possible, I would probably take as much as a minus 12 hit to save the wild card. But if not, I think beyond that, maybe you could kind of justify using the wild card, and maybe your strategy would change a little bit now. If you wild card in 21, you're probably looking to play a little bit more aggressive in these game weeks right after your wild card, where potentially you can bench boost in double game week 25, triple captain in 28 potentially. It really depends on how the fixtures fall, but I don't think it is that bad of a thing. Moving forward, the doubles and blanks can be navigated with the other chips that you have. So just one more thing to touch on before we move on is that the Bournemouth and Luton game can move to any game week from 23 to 28. It is likely that if Liverpool and Luton is shifted to double game week 25, then obviously Bournemouth and Luton can't be shifted there. So the remaining game weeks for Bournemouth and Luton to be slot into is 24, 27, and 28. So there are a couple of, or 26 as well, right? So there are a couple of potential permutations that we're looking at. But moving forward, you need to take note that these doubles and blanks will be the landscape moving forward, and you need to have a strategy on how you're going to navigate them. And hopefully you have enough chips after using this wildcard. You have enough chips to help you deal with these fixtures moving forward as well. So do bear this in mind. And of course, if you have chosen to activate your wildcard after this section, then let's take a look now at my Game Week 21 wildcard draft. So looking at my Game Week 21 wildcard draft, you will realize the team value is 97.6 million, so it's super cheap. You will have a lot of money in the bank, and I will explain where that money will go to later on. Of course, as of recording, there are a number of injuries that have put a spanner in our works, and basically there's a lot of issues we need to deal with right now. So on top of the future blanks and doubles we just talked about, Trent Alexander-Arnold is now injured. He has a knee injury that could rule him out for a couple of weeks, is what the assistant manager at Liverpool said. And also, Mo Salah will be going to the African Cup of Nations, followed by Son, who's going to the Asian Cup as well. So these are players we can't have in the wild card. And then the popular replacement, Jarrod Bowen, picked up an injury that could rule him out. And for Paqueta as well, he's also sidelined for around a month. So that obviously throws a lot of issues at us. So looking at this draft, I think you will see that a couple of picks are there because there aren't really a lot of better alternatives. So let's take a look at the goalkeepers first. So we have Areola and Dubravka. Now this combination here I feel just works. It's very, very cheap. They're both 4.2 million. I don't see too many issues with this moving forward, especially in terms of rotation. They rotate quite well. I don't think Newcastle are going to sign a goalkeeper. I mean, anything can happen closer to the transfer window deadline, but at least for the time being, it seems as if Dubravka should be fine, and in any event, you can just play Areola if anything. So I think this cheap keeper pairing still works. We're going to go with this one. For the defenders, I have Ezri Konza, Estupinian, Porro, Walker, and Doughty. So at this point in time, it's definitely, it's pretty straightforward that if Trent Alexander-Arnold was fit, I would have him in my draft. And looking at a couple of early wildcard drafts for Game Week 21, most of them had Trent Alexander-Arnold. But now that he's ruled out for quite a while, and you're on a wildcard, I think you can chance not going with him, and of course leaving money in the bank. As I mentioned, you have loads of money in the bank to bring him in one move if needed. So as for the three main defenders that I think you will play. It's Estupinian, Porro, and Walker. I think I've included them for a couple of reasons. For Estupinian, the fixtures are really good. He's back for Brighton already, kept a clean sheet against West Ham, scored against Tottenham, looking really good. He even scored in the FA Cup as well. So Estupinian is back at 4.9 million with the fixtures that they have moving forward. He's definitely a must. For Pedro Porro, for 5.7 million, he's also another player that's super attacking. Spurs may not be keeping a lot of clean sheets moving forward, but Porro is just so attacking that I think he's also one of the first few names on every wildcard draft. Now for Kyle Walker at 5.4 million, he's there as a preparation for the future where Man City versus Brentford will be rescheduled and you will want to triple up on Man City, and that's when I think Kyle Walker will be a really good differential. And of course, the fixtures moving forward for City are not bad at all. After Newcastle in Gameweek 21, it's pretty much a sea of green, and you add in a potential double there, I could see quite a couple of clean sheets. So Walker is there at 5.4. Mainly, you'll be starting these three defenders, Estupinian, Porro, and Walker. As for the, I guess, bench options, but really options that you can actually start every other game week as well. Konza is at 4.6 million. Aston Villa's fixture run is really good for quite a number of game weeks. And their defensive numbers are actually better than expected. So they are actually one of the top 3 defenses in the league for non-penalty expected goals conceded. So I do see that moving forward, Konza will keep a couple of clean sheets. And then, of course, there's Doughty at 4.5 million. The thing with Doughty is that he will have quite a number of double game weeks moving forward, because you will remember Bournemouth and Luton is yet to be rescheduled. Liverpool and Luton is likely to move forward as well to game week 25. And obviously, if that happens, I don't think Luton is going to keep a clean sheet in all the double game weeks or all the fixtures moving forward. But the attacking threat of Alfie Doughty is one of the things that have gone under the radar this season. So I really like him as an option, or as a bench option that you can play if needed. So there we go with this defensive 5. Let me know what changes you would make, who you have in your draft for the defenders. But let's take a look now at the midfielders. So in midfield, we have Pascal Gross, Bukayo Saka, Foden, Richarlison, and Cole Palmer. So I'm going to be honest here, this midfield does not look super strong. Firstly, there's no premiums. There's also no Jarrod Bowen. There's no explosive player that I guess you would think of right off the bat. But I guess this midfield is pretty much what would be safe for the next few game weeks, until maybe you use the money in the bank to bring Salah and Son back. Now, these midfielders here, I think there are some explosive picks like Phil Foden at 7.9, Cole Palmer at 5.7 is pretty good as well. Now Richarlison, I did say in the Salah and Son replacements video that I wasn't too convinced, but as I've mentioned, because of the lack of alternatives right now, I think he's the next best, most explosive player, at least for the short term. And then moving forward, when players come back from their tournaments or they come back from injury, you can make changes there. So Richarlison is here at 6.9 million. The pros are obviously that he's going to be playing centre forward, playing in a Spurs team that look really good, attacking very well. How they deal with Son being out, yet to be seen. And also Timo Werner coming into the Tottenham team could take some minutes off Richarlison in the long term. All this surrounding Richarlison may not make him a very good long-term option, but at least for the short term, and now that you're wildcarding in 21, I will still have him here. For Saka, given once again that there's really not a lot of good options surrounding the midfielders, Saka, at least, even though he's not performing super well, he has a decent run of fixtures. He's probably still on penalties, and you know that he will get 90 minutes every game, and he will start. So Saka here at 9.0 million, I think he's one of your options, or one of your routes to Salah moving forward, because he's at 9 million, so it's pretty expensive. You only need about 4 million more to get to Salah, so that could be your route back to Salah once he comes back from African Cup of Nations. And then for Pascal Gross, he's also, I guess, the next best option, because Brighton's fixtures are really good. At 6.4 million, what you're getting with Pascal Gross is someone who's pretty much on all set pieces, potentially on penalties if João Pedro is not playing. And also, I think with Pascal Gross, you just know that he's going to start every single game and play 90 minutes. So I think even though he's playing in the center mid position, he's picked up a couple of assists of late. He has decent goal involvement threat, mainly from chance creation. So mainly assist threat, I would say. But then again, at 6.4 million, I don't think you can ask for much more with Pascal Gross. So there we go with this five midfielders. Once again, there's no real explosive player like maybe Bowen, Salah and Son, etc. But I think this probably is kind of the best midfield that you can go for right now. Aside from other slightly more risky players, but also risks in their own rights, like Diogo Jota or Luis Diaz. The reason why I haven't included them is because they are very much rotation risks as well. So I've gone with this midfield five. Let me know which midfielders you have gone for that I haven't included in this draft. But let's take a look now at the forwards. So up front, I have Erling Haaland, Ollie Watkins, and João Pedro. So for Erling Haaland at 13.9 million, the thing with Haaland is he's going to be back very soon. We've seen quite a couple of training pictures already. Yes, he did not play, or he wasn't even on the bench for the FA Cup game that Man City just played. So that doesn't bode well for Game Week 21. But looking at a couple of news updates and also training pictures, you can see that he is pretty much ready to go by the time I guess Game Week 22 comes around, because Game Week 22 is quite a while away. It's at the end of January. And of course, Game Week 21 spans 2 weeks in terms of calendar dates. So by Game Week 22, I do expect Haaland to be back. If you're wildcarding now in Game Week 21, it just makes sense for you to have him already so that your transfers moving forward and your money in the bank can be spent elsewhere, namely bringing Salah back, namely bringing Trent back once they are fit, because of course they will double. They're probably going to double in Game Week 25. So that's when you would want your Liverpool assets. So your transfers moving forward can be focused on that if you have Haaland in the draft already. And then Ollie Watkins and João Pedro. For Watkins, I think pretty much I don't think anyone is looking to sell them even on a wild card. I think he's one of the players that at least you would keep. The fixtures are really good for the next few. And also, I mean, Ollie Watkins is pretty much going to start every single game. Yes, he has not been scoring as highly as he did at the start of the season, but slowly he is taking along, right? So I think we will see a couple of games where he could pretty much score quite high, and you want to be there for the hauls. So I think there's definitely potential with Ollie Watkins moving forward. I don't think there's a need to shift away from him, right? And then for João Pedro at 5.4 million, he's also, I guess, a little bit of a differential, but one that I really like, because now that Mitoma and Adingra are gone, right, if they're either injured or they're going to the tournaments respectively, right, so there's pretty much not a lot of attacking options for Brighton. So I would expect that João Pedro will start pretty much every other game from now, at least until the African Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup ends. So João Pedro, if he starts, you know that he's on penalties. Also, he's looking as one of the better Brighton attackers this season. Somehow De Zerbi has not started him every other game or given him consistent minutes, but now there's pretty much no other choice, and of late he's been doing pretty well as well. So I do like João Pedro as an option. 5.4 million is not the worst thing in the world. If once the other attackers come back that he loses his place, you could just bench him at 5.4. So not the worst thing in the world. And that pretty much wraps up this wildcard draft. So again, let me know what you guys would do with this draft, which players you have that I don't have. Looking at a big picture view, I have a couple of players who will double moving forward. I have three Man City players, so that's Walker, Foden, and Haaland. I have three Brighton players in Estupiñán, Gross, and João Pedro with a really good run of fixtures. Alfie Doughty is there for the potential double that Luton will have moving forward as well. And then, of course, there's loads of money in the bank for you to bring players that do double in the future back in one move, players like Trent and Salah. So let me know what you guys think of the draft. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you did enjoy, please do drop a like and please do subscribe as well. Again, the Game Week 22 deadline stream will be when I will be giving away a free Fantasy Football Hub membership to one lucky subscriber. So make sure you're subscribed and you'll be entered into the draw. But if not, I will catch you guys on the Game Week 21 deadline stream. This time it's on Friday, so do take note of the changed deadline. It's slightly earlier now on Friday evening, and I will be streaming as usual 3 hours before the deadline. So see you guys there, and thank you for watching this video.